H2G2, inspired by The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Titchfield Haven in Hampshire is a nature reserve encompassing 369 acres of land around the River Meon. It is owned and run by Hampshire County Council and is well worth a visit if you are interested in wildlife, wading birds and widgeon. History. The estuary of the River Meon was designated a Site of Special Scientific Interest in 1959, most notably because of its importance as a habitat for ducks, including widgeon and teal. In the 1970s, plans were made to increase the diversity of the land and open the site to the public. Artificial islands were created to encourage more wetland birds, paths were added, and bird hides were built. Titchfield Haven officially opened in 1976 and has changed a bit over time. In particular, the visitor centre was opened in 1998. The visitor centre contains a reception desk where you buy your tickets to enter the haven. There is a small shop selling wildlife spotting books, bird food and other wildlife-themed gifts. The tea room serves hot and cold food and drinks, including a wide variety of cakes. Artwork by local artists and photographers is on display in the tea room gallery. The exhibition changes monthly and all items are for sale. The cottage hide is situated just outside the visitor centre, and anyone can go in without having to buy a ticket first. Bird feeders attract a wide variety of small birds, including goldfinches and siskins, so it is worth spending a short while in there. Going through the visitor centre, you join the boardwalk trail, a boardwalk that takes you across marshy land. Shrubs and piles of wood provide habitats for insects and birds, including beetles, robins and wagtails. Ponds attract frogs and other wildlife, including water voles. Look out for the sculptures and fairy doors hiding in the vegetation. You may even see reptiles, including common lizards and slowworms, basking on the boards. The first hide you reach is the Suffern Hide, which looks out across the River Meon. If you're lucky, you might spot a kingfisher in the reeds. Posts in the middle of the waterway provide helpful perching points for cormorants and gulls, while wading birds and divers might be searching for food in sheltered areas. Following the boardwalk further along takes you to the meadow hide, where you may see cows and geese grazing, or spot other wet meadow birds, including curlew and godwits. Birds of prey such as kestrel and buzzards may be hovering overhead. The Knight's Bank hide marks the end of the boardwalk trail. It provides more views of the wet meadows and is also relatively close to the Frying Pan, a vaguely circular lake with the river forming its handle. You need to retrace your steps to go back to the visitor centre. A short walk along the shorefront, with the Solent and the Isle of Wight to your left, takes you to the other side of the haven, where there are 4 more hides on the Scrapes Trail. The Meon Shore Hide is closest to the Scrapes Trail entrance and offers views across the South Scrape and the North Scrape beyond that. The Scrapes are artificially created wetlands, with a number of islands in them providing habitats for birds including avocets, teal, lapwings and widgeon. For amateur bird watchers, the islands are helpfully labelled with letters so that people can instruct you more easily about where to see particular types of birds. The West Hide is on the western boundary of the site, offering views across a wet meadow, as well as giving you the opportunity to see hedgerow birds, including firecrests and wrens. The next hide on the Scrapes Trail is the Pomfret Hide, situated between the North and South Scrapes, and offering closer views of wading birds. To get to this hide, you pass Darter's Dip, a pond where dragonflies and damselflies are likely to be found darting around, or water voles may be feeding. At the end of the Scrapes Trail is the Spurgeon Hide, which looks out over the 11-acre mere. It isn't just birds and animals that you will see on the trails. The marshland is home to mosses and lichens, as well as shrubs, trees and fungi such as the heart-shaped scarlet elfcup. Seasons. The variety of habitats within the reserve mean it is well worth visiting at different times of year to see the divergent birds and other creatures that are around. The winter months are good times to see kingfishers and gulls, plus the bittern. In spring you'll see teal and shelducks and hear geese fighting for breeding territory. In early summer there may be more hen chicks about, as well as reed warblers and terns. Late summer sees snipe, godwits and lapwings exploring the wetland area. Autumn is a good time to see dragonflies and lizards basking on sunny days, and you may see water rails and bearded tits. Some rare birds find their way to the haven occasionally and cause excitement on social media. For example, a greater yellowlegs visited from America in the summer of 2015, and a penduline tit from Central Europe was spotted in December that year.